Number 4, stop comparing yourself with others. Do you ever find yourself sort of looking at someone else and, man, it seems like they have it all together? Especially in Los Angeles, where there's fancy cars and Botox faces, fancy clothing, and big Rolex watches and all that kind of stuff. I hear that the real jet setters now are having their Shar-Pei dogs Botox. Is that true? That's the next thing? I don't know if that's true. It's easy to get fooled by surface-level appearances. The thing that we tend to compare ourselves against, and we often fall on the short end, are the visible external characteristics, such as looks, such as the things they seem to have, such as the salary they may be making. And it's problematic. I want you to set your own personal standards, but make them based on your values. I have to tell you a story. The Harvard Business School is very famous for having reunions that reach into the pockets of alumni for big donations. And I was involved in some of the fundraising for the class. And at our 15th year reunion, I was given a list of people to call. And one of the people was named Marty. I have to admit I was a little bit jealous of Marty, because the week before I called him, there was a Wall Street Journal article, as well as a USA Today article, with his handsome picture and a story of how he just moved from an investment banking company named Kidder Peabody to one called Drexel Burnham Lambert at a base salary of $2 million a year, plus bonuses. Well, you can't live on that, but it's okay. That equated to $10,000 a day. At the time, I was about to go on a 6-week trip to Africa, working with government leaders, teaching them to plan development projects, and I would be paid $125 a day. Now, Marty was in my class. He was no smarter than I was. He just made different choices. But I got into this mindset of somehow thinking Marty was better than I was. So he was on my list. I called Marty. Marty, it's Terry. Oh, how are you? And he asked me how I'm doing. I said, fine. I said, how are you doing? And these are his exact words. He said, oh, I'm suffering from prosperity. I said inside my head, is that a disease that can transfer through the phone? I'm willing to pick it up. And he made a promise to give a small donation. The next week I was off to Africa, and I remember sitting in a dingy hotel room with one light bulb hanging in the middle, cobwebs in the corner, flies floating around, and I was journaling. The journal was saying, where did I go wrong? Okay? He's making 80 times more money than I. I feel good about what I'm doing, but somehow I screwed up. It was very painful. When I came back from Africa, I turned on NBC News, and the lead-off story was that Marty Siegel had been indicted by the Justice Department for taking $600,000 cash in a briefcase from Ivan Boesky. And I thought, my God, here's a guy who really had it all. The great job, the movie star looks, the trophy wife, the yacht, the house in the suburbs, and yet he was hollow inside. Can you think of the shame his wife felt when he was sent off to federal prison? Can you imagine how his kids felt being teased by the other kids? Your dad's a crook. So from that point forward, I learned to measure myself only against the personal standards that I had set, against the values that are important to my own satisfaction, against the values that help to build a strong family, a strong society. So set high personal standards, and don't be misled if it looks like someone else has it all together. And certainly don't negate your own successes and accomplishments by someone else who seems to have more. There was a sign by the Sunset Canyon Conference Center over an athletic field. It said, do not compare yourself against other athletes. and what they have accomplished. Compare yourself against your own accomplishments based on the potential abilities that you have. So we can all be 100% of who we are if we live more fully, if we have a vision, if we have values that matter. And does that feel good to know that? If so, just take a deep breath in and let it out. Great. So be the best you that you can be. And don't worry if someone else is better in certain ways, because everyone that I meet is superior in some way, and I know that every person in this room can text better than I can.